Hey guys, it's Emily. Today I'm here filming a video all about my final major project at university. This feels so weird to be filming because this is like the proper final video of my foundation year. I'm officially done. Like, I picked up all my work yesterday and I am actually finished. Like, I'm never going back to Ravensbourne again. And that is such a weird feeling. Like, it kind of makes me feel a bit strange that I'm never going back. A lot of you have been asking what kind of work did you do for your final major project and what kind of work is Ravensbourne about. So I figured I meant to just show you what I've been getting up to for the last 9 weeks. I don't actually know my grade yet, so I can't even tell you that. I was predicted a distinction, but I might not have got a distinction. I don't get until like late July, so I honestly don't know what I got. Your final major project is like a 8 or 9 week project, which you decide the title yourself and you do the whole project by yourself pretty much. You have your teacher's guidance, but the whole idea is that you kind of just do it yourself. My topic was abandonment and loneliness, very deep I know, but I actually really enjoyed just doing things myself and having that ability just to do what I wanted for 9 weeks. I did a hugely substantial amount of work, probably more than quite a lot of people did, but that's just because I'm quite self-motivated and I quite like to do work, so that's just kind of the way I've always been. For my final major project, I actually created a book. This is the book, but I'll show you it in a minute once I've gone through my sketchbooks. I managed to get through 3 sketchbooks in the period. I kind of started everything off by a visit to New York on a trip with university and went to a lot of galleries. So actually I started my project off with quite a bold statement anyway, because I'd already done quite a lot of exploring and quite a lot of photo taking, and I then ended up realising I wanted to specialise in film. I did an awful lot of research and photo taking just on film cameras and decided that I definitely wanted to take my project down the film photography route. And then when I got home I went to even more galleries. I must say, like, I went to so many galleries within my final major project. I think I did like 10, and that's more than I've ever done in like my entire life. We did a lot of crits. It's safe to say that a lot of crits, which I've really enjoyed. I've always loved doing critiques and I love talking, as you know. Now that I've left, I feel like I have the right to say that some people are really withdrawn in crits and it's really irritating. I say a lot in crits and I really want to try and be honest and give people the best representation and really try and help people out. Some people really don't care and really don't want to help you, and it's really not helpful. I really enjoyed my project, and because it was about abandonment and loneliness, I ended up going to take some photos of my friends at university because I always thought that I was quite lonely, but I didn't think of it in the perspective of a lot of people who are at uni are gonna feel quite alone and quite by themselves because they don't know any of the people when they move in. So I did a lot of photos of my friend Vicky. I did a whole series of her on Polaroid photos while she was like partying and like raving. I did a whole series of her, which was her just sat in her room, very withdrawn, trying to show that real contrast between places. Quite stereotypical images, but I just was playing around with shoots. I did a lot of artist research, looked at some street photographers, went to a few more galleries. Then I got my films developed from when I went to Birmingham to take those photos of Vicky, and I actually realised that the films came out beautifully and I was so happy with them, and that was when I actually decided, right, I'm gonna do everything on film. Because I then moved on to film, I started looking at people and people watching. So I took my film camera out with my friend Klaus and we literally went and sat in Green Park for like 3 hours and we were chatting, and I was just taking photos of all these random people as they were walking past, and I was a very happy photographer when I got the results back. I then did some more research into loneliness and I interviewed quite a lot of my friends who are all at university to try and get the contrast between whether they feel alone, who feels alone, try and get a real mix of people and try and work out where this idea of loneliness is coming from. Social media has any influence, but lots of my friends didn't think that it had any relevance at all, which I found extremely interesting. I then moved on to my second sketchbook. I went to the Tate Modern and got a load of photos in the fog exhibition they had, and I actually really enjoyed this, and from there I came up with the idea of using smoke bombs in my work or trying to distort or blur an image. I then ended up just trying to take photos of people and trying to evaluate people's lives of people I didn't know. I hate the images. I don't think they say anything, but I think you realise when you do art that you can hate your own work, and actually if you manage to hate your own work you're going to be a better photographer because because of it. And then I went and took some photos of people when I was on holiday and I cropped them down, and these were all on film. And again, I don't like them. Like, they don't say anything to me. They're just photos of people. Like, they're not like the ones I took previously of people that had interest to them. These all just seemed so lacking in purpose. And this is at the point in my FMP that I had a mini breakdown. I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't know where I was going. I went to a party with a load of my mates and I took a load of film images. You can kind of see them here. There's Vicky, to try and show you like how people change and develop in a scenario where there's alcohol. I was really happy with these, but happy with them myself, but not happy with them for my project. I again didn't feel like they said anything for my project. That wasn't the direction I wanted to take my project in, and I was so lost after this. When I'm struggling for ideas, I always go on a walk, and somewhere that I have walked a lot and explored a lot is a place quite near where my old school was, and it's this set of abandoned cars, and they've been there for years and years and years, and I literally went back and tried to take as many photos as I could, and I showed my tutor and explained the idea that I had about setting off smoke bombs in the cars, putting Vaseline over my camera lens and putting cling film over my camera lens to try and distort the viewer. Actually, that was the strongest thing I could have thought of at the time, and I'm so happy with the final outcome. I didn't end up actually using any of the images with the smoke in my final project because I had taken all those images on digital, and I knew that I wanted to use my film negatives when I got them back. I went and reshotted this environment 2 or 3 times until I got my finals, and I think that's the biggest thing to say about your foundation is the stronger projects that I've seen have been the ones that you go back and you reshoot and you retest and you reshoot, and you don't just come up with an image once. You have to do it so many times. You have to do so many test prints and test everything, and we all made fun of the tutors like they're obviously talking rubbish, like we can't do this much work, but I have never realised it so much until I saw everyone else's projects. I got my films back, and quick little preview, they're beautiful. I was so happy with them. Honestly, over the moon when I got them back. I think I cried. I did get through a lot of books and I did do a lot of work, so that's also a side note. People will tell me on my course that I probably did more than quite a lot of people because I can never switch off. I was doing it every hour of the night. I have to do my work. So anyway, I went back and did some more experimentation, smoke bombs, and I did a lot more experimentation on film, and I then played around with layers and trying to layer up smoke bomb images over my films to see if I could try and make that element of smoke in there, but it just didn't work. I felt layering them on Photoshop was just so wrong. I then did a lot of research into the way that other photographers have displayed their work, and a lot of people I'm a big fan of have made books, and that's why I made a book for my FMP. I actually used a door in my final image project. I don't have the door, I left it at uni because however much I loved it, where am I going to put a car door in my house? The car door ended up looking like the car that I used for my final major project images. That was the whole point of it, and the idea was you were to draw people over, they were to think it's the door, and then you look at the book. 3 sketchbooks later, 8 weeks. It was hell, but we got there in the end. There was so many tears. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I cried. But I absolutely love this book. I'm so proud of it. I got it on Photobox. Looking at it now, there are a few things that I would change, but I think that is completely fine. Like, that's obviously going to be the way it is. Like, people are just going to want to change a few things. That's inevitable. I absolutely love these images. I'm so proud and feel like the happiest photographer ever when I look at this book, because I know the pain that I went through to make it look like this. I personally think they're beautiful, and there's some of my favourite images that I've ever shot in my entire life. I don't think the outcome would have been this good if these images had been digital. So I really hope you guys enjoyed hearing about my FMP, and if you did, please give this a big thumbs up. I've really enjoyed this year, and I just want to say thanks to all my peers if they're watching this, and all the tutors. You guys are fab. I really appreciated all the help that I got given this year. I mean, you can see like my portfolio has grown so much in 8 weeks that of course it's free and paid for by the government. Why wouldn't you do it? Like, there's no reason as to why you shouldn't do it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!